Hey guys, Games here again. This is going to be what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Hagoromo and Hamura. Well, last left off with basically me speedrunning Naruto and jumping into Naruto Shippuden, with me leaving off with the Akatsuki Suppression mission. Not Akatsuki, I mean. We're going to go into the Akatsuki Suppression mission with us finishing the last part off with the Kazekage rescue mission. But there's no rescue needed. When Naruto and Gaara met for the first time, well, Naruto already sealed away most of Shukaku, and already kind of scared him with Kurama, and kind of talk to him. It was a weird few minutes for everyone else that wasn't a Jinchuriki. Then Naruto headed to the Hidden Leaf and gave Gaara, headed to the Hidden Sand and gave Gaara the Six Path Powers. So, give Gaara half of the Six Path Powers. And gave Gaara the Six Path Powers because, in case Shukaku was not keeping his end of the deal with the Sage and Naruto, the Six Path Powers should be able to suppress Shukaku, or destroy him if he wants to. But yeah, so Gaara with his Six Paths ability completely obliterated, completely obliterated Deidara and Sasori. Well, Chiyo beat up Sasori, and then Gaara just murdered Deidara. Now we're gonna jump into the Tenchi Bridge, because I forgot that arc was a thing until I just thought of it. Yeah, so Tenchi Bridge. So Sasori didn't give any information, but with the Shinobi world, but with the Hidden Sand and Hidden Leaf being a lot stronger, they will get some connections and find out about the Tenchi Bridge meeting between Kabuto and Sasori. So they're right there, and instead the Hidden Sand, and does give the description because they're hunting other members of the Akatsuki. And for the Tenchi Bridge, well, the one to actually impersonate Sasori is going to be Yamato and Itachi. Because Itachi, like I said, is a member of the Hidden Leaf now and healed. And the Path of Pain would be, forgot to mention these. No, I didn't. I forget. I didn't even make sure I got the names right. Haku, Kadura, which is Gaara's mother. Then Dan and Nawaki, Kisame, and, No, is it Hashirama? I don't know. Anything on this? So, Minato. Minato is the sixth path of pain. So, Haku, Karura, Dan, Naoki, Kisame, Minato. Those are the six paths of pain. I think it was Hashirama for a bit, so I'm like, oh yeah, the Konoha crush didn't happen. So, yeah. Now, we go over to basically just Tenchi Bridge. In Tenchi Bridge, due to Naruto not really being an official member of not a member of Team 7 because he's a Jonin now, like you can't have a Genin who can travel across dimensions. So Naruto is a Jonin, and he's actually appointed as Tsunade's guard for the future Kage Summit because Tsunade wants to set one up. They actually to announce Naruto as basically the next god of Shinobi and Hokage candidate. So it's months in the making, the whole Kage Summit. And Naruto looks how you see here. So yeah. Only thing this thing is one of his eyes is Rinnegan, the other eye is a Tenseigan. So now Naruto would basically just watch as the Akatsuki with the Tenchi Bridge team, mainly being Itachi, Yamato, Sakura, and Sai. Sai takes Naruto's place in Team 7. As, well, Sakura, mainly just because Team 7 mainly consists of Sakura and Sai. And Sasuke's in the team, it's just, he's a Jonin, so he doesn't really need to participate. While Sakura still needs to be part of the team. So it's just Sai and Sakura. The whole Leaf is a little bit different, and Danzo, well, he's reported as just worried as an ally of Orochimaru, so he's on thin ice. So Danzo's route immediately disbanded once Tsunade gets word of it, and then she disperses everyone into normal teams. The ones that try to rebel are murdered. But they're killed. And yeah, so Sai is one of the ones that was released, and Naruto's actually able to bring forth Sai's emotions once he realized that Sai is pretty emotionless. He's able to use a bit of Genjutsu to bring those forth, and the Genjutsu is released, Sai's emotions are on full blast, and he's a pretty happy person, and pretty nice guy. But yeah, eventually this leads to Kabuto on the bridge still trying to kill Sasori, but then it's Yamato. Before Kabuto can even attack Yamato, then the blade is plunged right through his chest. Not in his heart, but through his chest. and he looks and sees Itachi. Itachi just sighs, saying, I didn't know this probably was you, Kabuto. And aren't you Orochimaru's ally? Well, I guess it makes sense. Well, good thing Sasuke's already dead. Or else I'm pretty sure Sasuke would have killed you right here and now. So eventually Kabuto he kind of stuck on the words that Sasuke's already dead. But start to see that Itachi is not a member of the Akatsuki anymore. Mainly Orochimaru runs and tries to take out Itachi's eyes. But the moment Orochimaru comes out of hiding, suddenly something different happens. Suddenly Orochimaru is transported somewhere else, and I'm going to go to where Orochimaru is. He's in another dimension where the gravity is insanely high. Orochimaru can't even move a single limb. While Naruto can move in this dimension like he's walking on air. Not walking in, but like he's flying. This is the dimension that Kaguya was in, and the dimension that Obito had died. The gravity is so insanely high, but Naruto and Jiraiya and Hamura, because those ones that went on the 2-year training, Naruto brought them to this dimension and learned how to withstand the gravity. So Naruto did some Dragon Ball training. But yeah, so Orochimaru's just there, and Naruto's waiting in there to capture them. Not to capture them, but to arrest Orochimaru. Then Kabuto is detained after Naruto heals his chest. And then Kabuto is actually either forced to let Orochimaru die or be led to the base. Not die, but be forced to be left in another dimension or lead them to the base. Naruto brings Kabuto to the dimension, and he asks Orochimaru what he should do. And Orochimaru says, "Don't give away the base." Suddenly Orochimaru has not 8 blades, but has 8 chakra rods plunged into his back. And Kabuto, in fear, almost says it, but Orochimaru just says it out loud, yells, "Quit stabbing me," and then yells the location. Chakra rods are removed, and then Orochimaru is brought out of that dimension with Kabuto. But instead, they're actually going to put under an almighty pull effect almighty push and pull effect by 4 Naruto clones. 2 of them for Kabuto, 2 of them for Orochimaru. And they cannot escape it, because the pull and push is just so strong. But if they're in it for more than a day, they're going to be torn to pieces. No, I'm kidding, not a day, more like 4 hours. But Naruto makes quick work of finding the location, and when he gets there, he's able to find a lot of stuff, basically on the location where, on the other bases and everything. The little different bases, instead of meeting Sasuke there, he just meets random shinobi and kills them. And Kimimaaru's in full health, but he's not at this base. Kimimaaru's at the base where Juzo is. Not Juzo, I mean Jugo. Where Jugo and Karin are. And Suigetsu somewhere else. But eventually, Naruto leaves the base with all the documents and brings them to Hidden Leaf using Flying Raijin. When he heads back, he would realize that he left a suffering mission. With Orochimaru and Kabuto, he left Kisame and Minato. But they're wearing masks, so Orochimaru can't tell who it is. But he recognizes this as the gigantic and hulking figure of Kisame. So it's like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. It looks like Kisame. Well, it isn't really able to tell it's Kisame. Eventually, the 2 Naruto clones disappear, and immediately Kabuto tries to actually kill Kisame. But when Kisame goes in the mask, when Kabuto goes at least slash off Kisame's head. Suddenly, when the attack lands, well, there's no effect, and Kabuto just punched right through the bridge. And Orochimaru's like, what the hell? There's nobody that strong in the Hidden Leaf. And suddenly you realize the mask falls off, and it's Kisame, but with 2 Rinnegan. Not actually, none of 2 Rinnegan. He's missing 1 eye, but in the other eye there's a Rinnegan. Immediately Orochimaru goes for that eye, hoping it's a real Rinnegan. But immediately, suddenly, Minato, who I believe was the outer path. So, pretty sure Minato was the outer path, or the Naraka path. Alright, screw it. I'm gonna mix up the path of pain, because I only remember Haku's. So, let me just write down the path of pain. Okay, so now we go on to basically just them raiding the other bases. Well, Naruto doesn't know what's at pretty sure it's the southern base that Jugo and Karin are at, but Kimimaaru's also there. So Naruto would run towards that base by himself, and then we have Sasuke going towards the base where Suigetsu is, and so on and so forth. Other bases are taken out. Naruto gets to the base where Kimimaaru, Jugo, and Karin are. He just is able to actually, like, Kimaru goes in for an attack. Is he let out Jugo, and Karin went into attack as well. Kimaru goes in for attack first, and it's pretty easily beaten by Naruto. As he ran at Naruto, he's hit the side of the neck full force and knocked out. And Jugo ran at Naruto, like, in full transformation. But Naruto uses a basic Tenchi ability, which is just the mind control ability, where he kind of makes a chakra orb in his hand and shoves it into Jugo's chest. His ability, Jugo immediately freezes in place and then falls over. Naruto hasn't given him an order, he just kind of pushed him over lightly. Then Karin telling she's, like, realizing she's Uzumaki, immediately Naruto had sighed, saying, "Oh, thank God I'm not the last one alive." Karin had sighed, saying, "What do you mean you're not the last one?" Naruto said, My name is Naruto Uzumaki." Karin immediately froze, saying, "Wait, what? You have blonde hair, you can't be an Uzumaki." Naruto said, "I'm a hybrid. But still, I'm an Uzumaki." Karin extended his chakra, realizing it wasn't Uzumaki chakra. But his chakra levels don't ever end. Like, as he scans his chakra, it takes over the whole building. It takes over the whole, like, almost most of the continent. If he runs out of chakra fighting you, you're the strongest shinobi alive, or strongest creature. If you make an exhaust every single bit of chakra, you're different. But Naruto will never encounter an opponent like that. So Karin bows to Naruto, saying, "With how strong you are, you must be at least a descendant of the main like the clan head of the Uzumaki." Naruto doesn't know, but does say his mother Uzumaki's father was Namikaze. So two very rare clans. Now, eventually, Karin leaves with Naruto while Naruto drags out Juzo and Kimimaru. Not Juzo, Judo and Kimimaru. While Sasuke, when he went to the base where Shuigetsu is, he got to the sound 4 and just quickly hit them, like, not both of them, but two of them inside their head, if it's possible, knocking them out. Then it was mainly just the two miscellaneous guys, and then the other two, because I forgot their names. All their names, really. No, I remember them now. Jirobo, Sakon Ukan, Tayuya, and Kidomaru. Yeah, Kidomaru. So he knocks out Jirobo and Kidomaru with a single blow to the head. And then with Tayuya and Sakon Ukan, he just stabs Sakon Ukan both of the chest, and realizing Tayuya's and Uzumaki, just chops him instead of the neck and knocking her out. So yeah. And once those two are down, we go over to basically Naruto and you like the Hidden Leaf. He had used Minato's Path of Pain, which I forgot what the ones I assigned. So the Path of Pain being Haku, it's the Deva path, which is the push and pull path. And then we would have Minato being the human path, which is the soul pulling path. And then we would have Gaara's mother. You guys keep forgetting. If you guys keep forgetting, I didn't say if you guys do. If you guys did. So, in case you guys forgot, Gaara's mother, Karura. Naruto revived her specifically for Gaara. Karura is the animal path, which is the animal summoning path. Kind of like making everyone's paths just what would canonically happen. One slightly different would be Haku's, because she's not physically fit. I don't know why I said she. Haku's not as physically fit as as Yahiko. Minato is around the same body type appearance as the human path. Karura is the animal path, which is a summoning path. That one was a female, pretty small body type. Same with Karura. Kisame with the Predator path, who's the buff giant. Same with the regular path of the regular Predator path. Dan is the Naraka path. He's the only one that doesn't fit besides Haku. And the Naraka path was a gigantic hulking figure. So, yeah. The Naraka path is the one with the King of Hell. Then we have Nawaki, who is the Ashura path, the Mecha. And Nawaki also doesn't fit their path. Because Nawaki's a kid. But yeah, so Naruto uses Minato to bring Kimimaru to the leaf alongside Jugo. And then him and Karin will just get along for a bit. They're going to walk there and talk. Now Naruto talks to Karin about his parents, And to say the path with the yellow hair and the mask, that was his father. Kaine's a little confused. He said, "Wait, you said your father died." And Naruto explains his running gun ability, the Paths of Pain. Or they're not called the Paths of Pain, but he named them that because they live life in pain. Karine thinks that's kind of sad, but does admit that Naruto keeping him around, even having the personality, is nice. And Naruto, on missions, they don't really have personality. He takes that away because they can be taken advantage of regardless, and they all understand that. So, with that, with understanding, they don't have personalities on missions. So when they get back to the Hidden Leaf, that's when their personalities are alive. Karada walks around in the hidden sand, but when Naruto needs her, she teleports there. She knows how to teleport due to all Paths of Pain, having flying Raijin. So Karada just stays in the hidden sand mainly with Gaara. She doesn't walk around the hidden sand herself. It's herself just walks around the whole residence of the Kazekage. But yeah. Now, eventually Naruto ends up just getting the Hidden Leaf a lot later, with Sasuke traveling someone as well. They put cross path, and Karin would point out Suigetsu as just a very annoying bastard. And Sasuke asks, "Oh, so you found one person too?" Naruto says, "No, he found 3. It's just he has to mind control one of them. The other one had to knock out immediately." So he says, you must have found Jugo and Kimimaru." Then Naruto ends up looking at Sasuke, and Sasuke says, "What?" Naruto would say, What's that other chakra you have?" Sasuke froze, realizing he's caught, and says, "Don't mind it." He says, "No, tell me." Suddenly, Tayuya walks out of the woods, saying, "Naruto, meet Tayuya Uzumaki." Naruto yelling, "Hell yeah, there's 3 of us now!" And so Naruto began thinking, mainly the path of Minato, Kushina. Actually, everyone had to agree with this. Well, the ones who mainly opposed of it would be Hamura and Naruto's parents. Well, Hagoromo and the Nine Tails were full on board with this. Naruto can have 3 Uzumaki wives. Well, not 3. He can have 2 Uzumaki wives, and he's the 3rd Uzumaki alive, so wives. Now, Naruto likes this advice, but everyone really sees is Naruto's pervy smile and is thinking. Karin everyone immediately got the thought that Naruto was having and tried to hit him, but he dodged every single one of their hits. Immediately they get inside the Hidden Leaf, and Naruto had to think of another plan he had. He wanted to give Sasuke and Itachi some 6 paths power, but Hagoromo only had half his six paths powers left. He gave some of it to Gaara. So Naruto decided to wait. Well, he does give the other half of the 6 paths power to Sasuke. Now all that's left is Hamura's 6 paths power. So he has to wonder what he's going to do with that. So with that, he's probably going to give some away to a certain 8-tailed bro by the name of Gyuki. Because he's going to give it to Gyuki, probably not Killer Bee himself. But yeah. But now the next arc would probably be the Akatsuki special mission, the mission where Asuma originally dies. But Naruto in these 2 years was missing the Hidden Leaf. Not missing, but he was traveling outside the Hidden Leaf. Well, then Udon and Moegi got insanely strong. Asuma having trained Konohamaru constantly, and with how strong Konohamaru is, Asuma, dealing with that rising strength, got stronger himself. So, when Asuma does have to fight Hidan, Hidan's really overwhelmed in every single way. Speed, overwhelmed. Strength, it's not even a contest. When he tried to clash with that stick thing that he has that stabs people, Asuma punched it in half and then punched Hidan right in the throat. It was not his strength is comparable to Kakuzu. Asuma matches Hidan in every single way, just not immortality. Eventually, Hidan's cut to pieces, and Kakuzu tries to intervene, but Shikamaru is able to catch Kakuzu pretty easily. Immediately, Asuma begins using Jutsu, and he already has a file on Kakuzu, so he makes clones. These clones take out every single one of his hearts. They take out 3 of them, and he tries to escape, but immediately Asuma throws a knife in his regular heart. And now, the last heart, being the wind release one. Kakuzu, nothing anyone has wind release, tries to actually blow it all away. But immediately, Asuma, when he blows everyone away, Asuma is able to compare to his wind power and destroys him. So, pretty easy. Now, we go to, I guess, being the next arc being, by the way, Hidan's detained. He's arrested. But next arc being, let's say, the arc where Jiraiya originally dies. That's the next arc. So when Jiraiya doesn't try to investigate the hidden rain, he does it pretty easily. He's a master shinobi who's able to investigate. Well, first off, he's stronger than all Kage, even Tsunade. Naruto can abuse. Not Naruto. I mean, Jiraiya can abuse all 5 Kage effortlessly. He's that strong now. Travel across dimension, met random creatures, random people. Jiraiya is powerful. He's almighty. Like this Jiraiya can almost beat. No, he can't. But it says be stupid. But he'd give Hokage Naruto a good run for his money. Hokage Naruto would win, but Jiraiya would not send him. He wouldn't beat him, but adult Naruto would have to visit the hospital a few times a week just to make sure he's gonna live. But yeah, so Jiraiya investigates. When he's caught by one path of pain, when they see him and they start fighting, Jiraiya, knowing a lot of Rinnegan abilities because of Naruto, defeats that path of pain like it's nothing, and that would be the human path. But then when he encounters every single path of pain, he beat Konan with a single blow. He just rushed at Konan full speed and hit her in the gut, knocking her out. And then we go to basically the path of pain, being 5 left. So every single path attacks Jiraiya. Jiraiya, first thing he takes care of would be the Deva path, because he knows that one's most threatening. So what he does, using his all 5 chakra natures, will just use insanely strong water jutsu to make all the water just fly up in the air and turn into spikes and fly at the paths. They all avoid it, but Jiraiya's able to get advantage of the human path, the Deva path being Yaiko, and Jiraiya luckily and sadly will cut out the eyes, and then go into full stage mode. We'll go into stage mode and but punch a hole through it, destroying it. Then by the time he lands on the ground, now he has to defeat the other paths of pain, which he does pretty easily. Eventually Nagato realizes that Konan's down, and every single path of pain is defeated. Jiraiya would find Nagato and go over to him. Nagato will question what Jiraiya wants, and Jiraiya just says, Nagato, at this point, I just want to talk. He sits in front of Nagato and starts telling the tales of Naruto that he's had. Now, Nagato was first shocked to hear that there's another Rinnegan user, but then just realized that Itachi did leave the Akatsuki for some reason, and then Kisame's dead. So he's like, oh, they must have encountered the Rinnegan user. Then he does get word that basically Hidan and Kakuzu are dead. They don't know Hidan was captured, but they do know Kakuzu's dead. But eventually Konan walks into the conversation, and Nagato is crying, but smiling. Konan would ask what Jiraiya did, and Nagato yells, Konan, get me out of this damn chair. We're going to the Hidden Leaf. Konan does so, a little confused, and she talks to Jiraiya. Jiraiya explains. His new student is also a Rinnegan user. And at that, hundreds of times more powerful than Nagato will ever be. It's a little harsh way to say it, but it's true. So Jiraiya throws down a kunai and says, just get within at least 2 feet of it. She does so. Jiraiya then says, all right, let's go. He puts up a show like a hand sign, and then they are transported in front of Naruto. In front of Naruto, he's in his house, and he's just eating food. He's just legit in his boxers eating ramen. Konan sees Naruto with a blindfold on, and he pulls it up, saying, Jiraiya, why are you in my house? Jiraiya says, oh, this is where the flying dragon symbol was. And he's standing on top of Naruto's Jonin vest. Naruto would say, if I was wearing that, you would have landed on top of me, and if I was in a fight, you probably would have had me killed. Jiraiya thinks, saying, my bad. He uses a symbol and says, Naruto, meet Nagato and Konan, my old students. This one Nagato says, excuse me for a second, puts up one single hand sign, and then the corpse of Nagato appears. And Naruto would ask, why is there a corpse and skeleton in front of me, and whose lady made of paper? Jiraiya explains, these 3 are my old students. As you can see, one from the corpse, down to living skeleton, and there's Konan. Naruto keeps thinking, saying, I look at the corpse and the skeleton. You want me to restore the skeleton full health and bring back the corpse? Jiraiya nods, and Naruto would sigh, saying, the things I do for you, Jiraiya. Okay, so where was I? Yeah. So Naruto would immediately summon. Okay, so Naruto would end up making Dan appear, When he appears, here's Dan. Well, Dan asks Naruto what he wants, as he's in the middle of something with Tsunade. And Naruto can obviously tell because Dan is barely wearing any clothes, only wearing shorts and tank top, and he's covered in sweat. The paths are more human than they should be. So with that, Dan looks at Nagato, saying, "Is that a dead body or just a tired guy?" Naruto would say, "Let me handle the dead body." So Naruto immediately Dan summons the King of Hell, and then says with Naruto's chakra, your Rinnegan abilities should, well, not Rinnegan abilities, well, despite you being a Rinnegan user with Naruto's weird chakra, you should be healed fully. Nagato would nod, and Konan lets him go as Nagato stumbles in the King of Hell. Then, when the King of Hell opens again, Nagato's body looks good as new. He's not a skeletal, and he's at full health. Konan even walks in, as she does have a few injuries, not serious ones, they're slight injuries from the past while. She walks in, walks out, fully healed. And then Dawn leaves with the King of Hell. Naruto begins thinking, saying, what else? What else could happen? Nagato would ask about Yakuza, what can Naruto do for him? And Naruto explains. He wants Nagato to do one thing. Nagato would nod, and Naruto asks is that Nagato bring him someone who Nagato knows soul would be pretty useless. But this one Naruto and Jiraiya look at each other, so it's Nagato realizing who's in the village. He's into the chakra, saying Hidan. Not gonna be teleported to where Nagato was, to where Hidan was, and stole his soul. When he disappeared, he's using Flying Raijin with help with Jiraiya. Jiraiya and Nagato appear in front of Hidan. Hidan's soul's torn out, and then they deliver that soul to Nagato's to Yahiko's body. But first, Naruto had to do reanimation, and then reanimation gets a soul, and Yahiko's will, so not really strong, is able to actually take control of the body, but he's still a corpse, so his body's going to decay soon. So what Naruto does is basically start to shove chakra rods in him like he does everyone else, and you use path to pain. The path to pain, and chakra rods. He's a pretty good body. Still a corpse, but won't decay unless Naruto is able to take the soul out. In the chakra rods. That Naruto ends up throwing Konan and Nagato two chakra rods. They're pretty small, saying they get in your skin until you bleed, or some part of your body until you bleed, and you should be able to talk to him specifically in your minds. But so far, here he is. By the way, you might want to get rid of the Akatsuki cloaks. Nagato not saying, oh yeah, takes his off, and Nagato being kind of similar body types, he's able to give Nagato a shirt. Naruto's a little more bulky, but they're on the same height. Just Naruto has slightly more muscle mass. So some of his old shirts that were before muscle mass, he's able to give Nagato that some of them do fit. So yeah, Konan is able to get some close from Karin, because Karin came over talking to Naruto, just wanting to know more about his life, because he did say he lived a pretty interesting life. So Karin came over, and then was able to lend some clothes over to Konan. Then Yahiko was able to just get close to Naruto, because their body type is exactly the same. Muscle mass-wise, height-wise, yeah, everything was the same. So he's also able to wear some of Naruto's clothing. And Naruto does say, because you're not really cleared as criminals because you're in Akatsuki, you guys won't be able to live anywhere or rent out a hotel, so you guys can crash here. He does look at Yahiko and Konan, saying, nope, on my couch. Which basically just no fucking on my couch. Because that's where she'll be sleeping. And then I think I have an extra blanket for Nagato, because Nagato, your body's still pretty frail. Nagato nod as he just takes a big blanket, and he lays on that and sleeps, because around nighttime, Jiraiya leaves, and Yahiko and Konan take the couch. Now, next arc, I'm going to Google that real quick. So I guess the next arc would be the Itachi mission, which will not happen, because Itachi's an ally that can leave. We're doing the next few weeks for the whole, what was it? Yeah, Kazekage Summit. So the Hidden Rain trio, they are cleared of all charges, as announced across the world that the leaders, the Akatsuki, had read out there's a true leader, and this leads to basically Kisame, Itachi, Nagato, Konan, Yahiko, Itachi are defectors. Hidan, Kakuzu, Kisame are dead. Itachi, Nagato, Konan, Itachi, Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan are defectors. And that leaves 3 members of the Akatsuki, I think. So check those guys out first. Okay, so here's all members of the Akatsuki. So Itachi, ally of the Hidden Leaf now. Deidara, dead. Hidan, dead. Sasori, dead. Nagato, ally. Kisame, dead. Konan, ally. Kakuzu, dead. Obito, on the loose. Orochimaru, in captivity. Zetsu, on the loose. Madara, dead. Sasuke, ally. Hidden Leaf. Kabuto, in captivity. Kakashi, non-member. Black Zetsu, part of Zetsu. Karin, not here. Tsugetsu, not here. No, they're both allies of Hidden Leaf. Juzo, dead. Gaara, not ally, or part of the Akatsuki whatsoever. Shin, not Akatsuki. Shikamaru, not Akatsuki. Kyusuke, he's sadly dead. Shama, not part of the Akatsuki. But yes, I guess the whole of the Akatsuki, except for 2 of them, are on the loose. So 2 of them are on the loose, while the rest of them are either dead or part of the Hidden Leaf. Which is kind of weird, regardless. But yeah. Now, Obito and Zetsu got word of basically some of them defecting the Hidden Leaf, some of them being dead. So relating to the last 2 left, they use Zetsu to sneak out Kabuto and Orochimaru and Anko. Before they leave, this leaves Orochimaru to actually inject Sasuke with something that would give him his curse mark. Sasuke is also a lot stronger right now and has his Rinnegan both asleep and off guard. And Orochimaru saw someone in his bed that had pink hair and a 100 healings symbol on her forehead, but she was asleep. Alongside Sasuke. Sasuke has chakra injected into him, and then Orochimaru leaves. Sasuke woke up once Orochimaru left, and realized his neck was a little weird. Orochimaru couldn't bite Sasuke because that would come up immediately, and Orochimaru would be killed. But if we're wondering about Sasuke's Rinnegan abilities and how he's controlling them so far, Naruto already taught him how to do the basics. So, yeah. And Naruto, well, he's learning something. Well, I forgot how I said that would get some of Hamura's 6th chakra. Naruto's thinking of giving some of it to at least Nagato, or considering it, but he doesn't know just yet. But yeah, so Orochimaru using Anko and Kabuto being a perfected user of the Orochimaru and Kabuto being perfect users of the reanimation jutsu. Well, not Kabuto, but Kabuto's working on it. Then Anko being a curse mark vessel. And then we have with Obito and Zetsu's, those 5, 6 or 7 maybe, they start the world war, but they do it in secret. While the Kage-sama is going on. They start it without Obito giving a single warning, and then when the war starts, they know it started because, well, I believe it was the 3rd Raikage ambushes the meeting. He ambushes it by actually almost killing A. But the Kage meeting, Kage-sama's going on, it's been a few weeks. I was just going over what happened in these few weeks. At the meeting would be Tsunade alongside the hidden Rain trio. And Naruto's just there outside, kind of just watching. He wants to keep an eye on Nagato to make sure, well, Nagato and Yahiko mainly, but Konan isn't really a threat. But since he's heard the ambush, he's been watching as Nagato and 3rd Raikage been fighting. Nagato's body's at full power now, and he's not using Path of Pain anymore because Jiraiya destroyed them all, but he's all the abilities of the Rinnegan to himself now. So he had used the mecha abilities of the Ashura Path and shot missiles right at the 3rd Raikage, destroying parts of his body. But then she was able to take it down, and Naruto listening to his reanimation jutsu, he weaved a few hand seals, and then it's on his palm on the back of the 3rd Raikage, making his body just poof into dust. Naruto had said, "Reanimation, huh?" That's when Tsunade yelled, "What the hell are you talking about?" As she looked at Konan, saying, "Sorry, ma'am. It was a messenger outside from the Hidden Leaf. He had said that Orochimaru and Kabuto escaped." Naruto had said, "And there's my answer. That's how the hell." He jumped down through the hole, saying, Tsunade, give me a second real quick. Naruto immediately began sensing out everywhere, and realized every single village was, under siege. Being all the strongest shinobi were attacking them from surprise attacks. The only person that couldn't be reanimated was Kisame, because he's a living reanimation with that has motion and feeling. But Kisame, he's the only one that doesn't really have a full-on social life. He just can't show his face in the hidden leaf because, he's like a shark person. Plus, he's a member of the Akatsuki. That can't be on trial because he's basically a living corpse. But yeah. But eventually we have just every member of just past members of the Akatsuki, current members that are dead. Anyone that was dead in the Akatsuki has been revived, except for Kisame and other strong shinobi, tearing apart their own villages. Now Naruto realizes the Hidden Leaf also under siege, but it's not damaged one bit. Naruto would use chakra and was really sentry ability to see Sasuke, Itachi, and everyone else are holding the fort down. Mainly Jiraiya and Sasuke, but it did it until they're holding down the fort. They see Naruto actually fighting. Not Naruto, I mean, they see Naruto with Sasuke fighting against Mu, the fourth Tsuchikage, or second Tsuchikage. Fighting against him, and putting up a good fight. It's just, the other Tsuchikage was already attacking the village and destroying it completely. Mu and Sasuke are fighting, and Sasuke can't get past Mu's invisibility, because he's now getting accustomed to being a sensory ninja, getting accustomed to it. They'll occasionally find him, but Mu's able to avoid and evade. Yeah, so Jiraiya, using his sensory abilities, was able to take down Mu and then seal him away. And yeah. Now they have to determine what village they're going to protect. Onoki and A and everyone else has their villages, but Naruto holds back Killer B. Now immediately A is ready to attack Naruto, but A is punched right in the face by Nagato and sent flying. But B is kind of questioning this until Edo says, B, do not attack him. B is a little nervous and immediately asks 8 why, but Edo then says, what I'm detecting is the power of the Sage of Six Paths and the Nine-Tails and Cherokee. Those things combined, the Nine-Tails, and Cherokee, I mean. Edo then says, those two combined, no one in this room has a chance of even scraping him. The only reason we'd even land a single punch on him is if he let us. B immediately stepped down from a defensive stance, and that's when suddenly a voice appeared in B's head, and B then says, what the hell's this? And Hamura began speaking, and Ada recognized it, saying, don't worry, it's my uncle. And then Hamura then says, hey Yuki, well, he's a bit of chakra, just so you can save your village for sure. This chakra was 6 past powers from Hamura. And the Killer B was already a pretty good sentry ninjutsu, but now he's a master of it. His eyes are kind of like a Byakugan without activating a Byakugan. He didn't look like he had a Byakugan at all, but it's like he had one. And he even got an additional ability from Naruto, from Naruto being generous, a chakra cloak. And the Killer B turned it on, and his clothing, he kind of turned purple, and immediately disappeared from sight with every single ninja from the hidden cloud, and A was in shock, saying, B, what the hell, how are you this fast? Faster than me. B had laughed, saying, that boy, the boy Naruto, he gave me this ability. Now, A is kind of shocked, saying, so he's helping us. Immediately got the hidden cloud, which wasn't much, after a few minutes of just B, please, speed blitzing the world. Well, they began fighting off every single shinobi pretty effortlessly, but after a few minutes, B ran out of chakra. He landed on the ground, saying, the power is exhausting. Edo had said, on the way running with A and everyone else, I told you, don't use it constantly, dumbass. Well then, the Hidden Leaf, they don't head the Hidden Leaf, the Kage and Naruto and the Sound Trio, they don't head to the Hidden Leaf. Because Naruto sent out and they defeated every single shinobi that attacked them. Mu was the only important one. Everyone else was able to just steal everyone away. Well, Naruto was able to send out a message to his other passive pain, who were able to deliver a message to basically, passive pain were in the Hidden Leaf, just not, Minato was just watching with Naruto, because Naruto was the one to talk to. But everyone else, like Don delivers a message to Jiraiya saying, passive pain will be heading to the village to assist, and request a few, shinobi like Kakashi, Guy, and the senseis, basically all the senseis are requested to go help. They'll agree and they run off. And the Konoha 12 follow their senseis. It's not Naruto or Sasuke or Sakura. Because Sasuke and Sakura are the main defenses of the Hidden Leaf alongside Jiraiya, while the other ones just follow their senseis wherever they go. So yeah, now Naruto being tracking where the reanimation is coming from, and she does deliver a special message to Itachi via Kisame saying, I want you to head here with, let's say him and Dan need to head there. And then the Naoki can accompany them. So Itachi himself, alongside the Nanaka path and the Ashura path. So yeah. Now eventually, when they get to where Naruto sent them. When they get there, Tachi, Namaki, and Dan see that it's Kabuto, Anko, Oshimaru, and Obito in Zetsu. Zetsu begin attacking first with Obito with Itachi, and Sama and Itachi are fighting. Zetsu's taijutsu is actually very impressive to Itachi and scary. Even stronger than Itachi's taijutsu, and Itachi's being hit a few times. Not a lot, but a few. Eventually, they were kind of questioning what Naoki could do. So they realized that Naoki took off his mask and had one Rinnegan. Suddenly, Naoki would shoot out a gigantic blast from his palm, and it shot off half of Zetsu's body, destroying all of White Zetsu. With that scare, Black Zetsu takes over the rest of his body, but immediately is just caught in the sealing tank. Not sealing tank, I mean, by the sealing sake cup by Itachi's Susanoo. Itachi being also figuring out Itachi's eyes. They did the transfer with Sasuke and Itachi to go over that, but they had used the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan thing, and Sasuke then got a Rinnegan from Naruto for that. But yeah, Itachi sealed away Black Zetsu. It's not going to last long, by the way. But yeah. Now with Kabuto, he's fighting Dawn, and Dawn is abusing Kabuto. But eventually, Orochimaru is able to actually cancel some of the Path of Pain ability, and now he's actually able to just fight Dawn as just a reanimation. But Dawn, regardless, is still insanely strong and actually able to beat Kabuto, and Naruto realized that Dan's Path of Pain ability was cancelled, but Naruto establishes it by saying that he'll give Dan at least half his chakra to push it's something that not last long because it may kill Dan, but not kill him, but destroy him completely. But it should work temporarily. Dawn's power came back to full ability, and this power shifted the balance of the war immediately. Dawn got his Rinnegan back, and now a Tensegan. Dawn bit his thumb, slamming his palm on the ground, and suddenly two gigantic creatures, a hyena and a gigantic dog, appeared. Those two appeared, they began fighting Orochimaru, and Orochimaru cannot avoid them. If he hits the dog's going to grow another head. If he hits the hyena is just going to slash at him and poison him. So eventually, Dawn's power immediately leaves him, only leaving his Rinnegan and Path of Pain ability. While Naruto lost a quarter of his chakra. It was going to come back eventually, but not for a long time. But now we have to deal with the wars. Kakashi and Guy head to the Hidden Stone, and began defeating shinobi left and right, the reanimated shinobi. And they all brought at least one Seal Master with them. Kakashi brought Sai with him. Then Haku was actually sent to the Hidden Mist, and Haku was actually running alongside someone. He didn't realize it till he looked. Zabuza sits here, someone running alongside him, and thought it was a reanimation, till suddenly a Senbone stood in front of him and recognized a Senbone with a certain carving in it. And the Senbone just said, Master Zabuza. Suddenly Zabuza stabs the chakra rod in his hand, saying, Damn it, Haku, why'd you scare me like that? Haku had said, no matter. It's not a concern right now. We need to fight. Zabuza decides, saying, yeah, come on. And they were defeating reanimations themselves. The problem was Yagura. Yagura beat the brakes off them both. And then we had the other Mizukage who defeated them as well. But Haku, having endless chakra plus Rinnegan abilities, was able to keep up a decent amount. And Obito and Madara were not at the fight with where Naruto and everyone else was. No, not Naruto, I mean where Itachi and everyone else was. But Obito and Madara were doing their whole Ten Tails ability thing. And, Nagato's eyes were not gathered because, Nagato is now full-powered Naruto. It's now full-powered Nagato, so hard to beat him. So, yeah, they're able to get the ring on by other means. And the Tail Beast chakra they did collect, they infused it in Geto statue. But then Madara absorbed some of it using bits of Hashirama chakra. And with absorbing the chakra, he was able to at least awaken Rinnegan. and then fuse Tono Chakra back after already having his Rinnegan. So he's able to keep Rinnegan, but not for long, until you become Tento's Cherokee. But now Naruto was able to feel the chakra of the Ghetto statue, and then by Hamura was warned to stop it. So it's not to be completely speed blitzing to where Madara and everyone else was, and when he gets there, it's too late. All the reanimated shinobi, where she just appeared from the village and were now in front of Madara, and with his army of black Zetsu, not black Zetsu, with his army of white Zetsu, and the Ten Tails. Madara suddenly absorbed the Ten Tails, at least a quarter of its chakra, and was able to at least keep its Rinnegan, but now have two of them. Then Obito absorbed another quarter of it, and then now they're both just insanely powerful. Naruto landed right in front of him, being first from there, but then sent out Minato, who made clones, and brought every single shinobi from every single village there. Not every single shinobi, but at least decent amounts. Every single shinobi that participated in the war was there. Every single shinobi that participated in the war was there now. So, yeah, as they're all there now, the war begins. Madara still fights the 5 Kage. This time the 5 Kage are actually a decent challenge. No, they're not. Just Tsunade. So it's a decent challenge, and actually fighting Madara with taijutsu that's almost equal to his. But Tsunade is still beaten up by superior taijutsu and superior ninjutsu, until Tsunade is kicked away and caught by someone. Sakura and Sasuke standing beside her. Sasuke had said, come on Sakura, let's do this. Sasuke pulled out his sword, and, having two hands this time, put out another sword, saying, I don't have all day. Sakura says, yes you do. Sasuke says, no, I have meals to eat. Suddenly he disappeared, right in front of Madara, and those two began fighting. Madara had superior chakra, so he was able to use a lot more jutsu on Sasuke. But Sakura's 100 healing was superior to Tsunade's. Sakura had already surpassed Tsunade. Those two began fighting Madara. Madara was overwhelmed and had to make use of his, sage mode with his wood release. Well, then Naruto, he's reanimation jutsu in the back of the whole crowd. As he used it, he's able to use a bit of Zetsu as vessels, and when he used it, he made a few select shinobi appear. Now, only Naruto would have enough chakra to do this. Reanimated Hashirama, and he reanimated Hashirama and Tobirama, but then two people beside them, Hagoromo and Hamura. When Hamura and Hagoromo appeared, Naruto said, all I need you to do is at least keep the Ten Tails at bay. I have a plan with it. They nodded, and they ran off. Well, Naruto already surpassed them, but he has a plan in motion. Because Naruto feels different pressures coming from somewhere else. Ishiki, Oroshiki, Momoshiki, Kenshiki, and Toneri, they were watching. And they were able to tell Naruto that Naruto was just gunning at them. Not clearly, but he will feel the pressure. So Toneri knew where Naruto was, because Kensegan power. Toneri was able to at least kidnap tons of random Hyuga. They didn't know what was happening. The Hyuga didn't know where it's coming from, but a lot of them were kidnapped, and then Toneri was able to make his own, at least one Tensegan and one eye. Then we have Ushiki, Kenshiki. Ishiki was in space just because he took over Jigen's body. He kind of rushed it, but was able to use his full power and then disappear to where Toneri was, and didn't kill him, but yeah. The Momoshiki, Kenshiki, and Ushiki were there. And let's say some random miscellaneous remains of the Otsutsuki clan. They're just watching this as Naruto was waiting in space, making sure he was waiting in space. He was making sure they didn't make a move. So yeah, but Hamura was able to sense to the Tensegan besides Naruto. Actually appeared from Naruto asking if he can actually go to where the Tensegan is, while Hagoromo keeps the Tensegan at bay because he can do it himself. Naruto nodded, allowing this, as Hamura disappeared into space, and right in front of Toneri. Toneri recognized the person immediately, but it was too late before the person began beating the living hell out of him. But before Toneri was defeated quickly by Hamura looked at Ishiki, Momoshiki, Kenshiki, and Ishiki, and Ushiki. He was fighting them, but he was equally outmatched because of Ushiki's ability and what wouldn't work on him, but he's just able to travel dimensions and beat the living hell out of him. So, yeah. But we're going to go to Hagoromo. As he puts his nails at bay, we have Naruto who appears in front of Kakashi, and he doesn't know this will work, because, it has to. Some palm against Kakashi's chest, and immediately, would infuse chakra into him, not 6 power, but Kakashi immediately awakens 2 Sharingan, both of them being able to use Kamui on the same level as Obito. And Kakashi's chakra levels were raised by a lot, enough to at least but at least able to last out against Obito and use Kamui multiple times without bad effects. So Kakashi and Obito are fighting, and they're doing decent. They're doing decent. With Might Guy using his fourth gate to fight alongside Kakashi. Now Madara eventually is, after being abused by Sasuke and Sakura, he eventually joins in the fight with Hashirama and Tobirama. Madara realizes how outmatched he is, and first tries to retreat. But Hashirama's not having any of it. Now there's Tobirama. Now Naruto wants to torture Madara really bad. So he makes tons of clones, and they run towards the Uchiha compound graves. When they get there, they begin using towards the old Uchiha compound grave sites. They revive every single Uchiha they can, and begin tearing out souls of just criminals that were in multiple prisons across villages. And the ones that were of course guilty. All those souls are torn out of the criminals, put in the Uchiha, and the Uchiha that couldn't have their spirits be as they're losing control of their body, not able to make them keep their spirits, they can't keep control of their body, and the reanimations are now active. These are not going to make any single one of them a path of pain, but they're active. Now Madara will then realize as some Naruto clones appear in front of him, but then Naruto clones disappear once people appear in front of them as well. These people being the Uchiha. The one leading them, Izuna and Fugaku. Izuna dead. Madara, you made peace with the Hidden Leaf and did good. Starting a world war, that's not what my brother would do. So who the hell are you? Madara looked at Izuna saying, why are you here? Izuna didn't even answer, and being attacking Madara, being outmatched. Well, Fugaku and everyone else began joining in, and Madara's being overwhelmed, but the many Sharingan and skilled users of it, that wasn't helping him at all. Even with Sasuke and Sakura being joining in occasionally, Fugaku just sat back eventually and began talking to Sasuke for a bit. While Hiruzen, Hashirama, and Tobirama just watched as well. Hiruzen's running in mainly because he's the weakest one, and he's a valuable sacrifice in case. But yeah, eventually Obito had been using more chakra from the Ten Tails, and Hagoromo realized the Ten Tails was getting weaker from Obito doing that. But eventually Madara appeared next to Obito, saying, alright, even if I use the whole thing, I will not be able to defeat it. So half and half. Obito nodded. Listen, Obito says, these are wheels with the Zetsu. How about that? Madara nodded, saying, planned on it. They absorb the full Ten Tail. Well, they absorb half of it. Then they absorb every single one of the Zetsu themselves. They absorb half the Zetsu, one half for Obito, one half for Madara, one half the Ten Tails for Madara, one half the Ten Tails for Obito. This is enough power to give them at least 2%, not 2%, let's say 0.5% less power than they had as the Ten Tails and Cherokee. But Madara then back out Obito, quite literally, and then just absorb all his chakra, getting the abilities of every single Zetsu, all the Ten Tails power, and now Madara is the full Ten Tails and Cherokee. And a lot stronger. But immediately, Itachi was the one leading the fight as the strongest in the middle of it. Then, yeah, as he was fighting, well, he even used Susanoo and tried to seal away Madara, hoping the blade will get him. But Madara quickly just used Almighty Push, full power using Limbo Clones as well to beat up the whole Susanoo. Usually the Susanoo is destroyed completely, releasing Black Zetsu. If Black Zetsu shoots out, he appears behind Madara, saying, let's do this now, and fast. And he stabs a hole clean through Madara's chest, not realizing Hagoromo was there. But now we know Hamura. Hamura's fighting the Satsuki on the moon, losing pretty badly. But Toneri is already knocked out, conscious. But yeah, back to Earth. So, Kaguya is revived, and when she's revived, she absorbs Black Zetsu, completely with him actually asking her to do it. When everyone's revived, well, it's not going too well for the Shinobi Alliance. Every single person being defeated, a few of them dying. And now eventually every single Kage has to go to where Kaguya is. Sasuke, Sakura, all 5 Kage, including Hiruzen, Hashirama, and Tobirama, have to fight. Sasuke and Kaguya are putting up a good fight against each other, but Sasuke's a lot stronger than he was when he fought her in canon. Well, this is actually pushing Kaguya back a lot, and Hagoromo even joins in. But Kaguya, with his own Black Zetsu, was a lot stronger than she was as well. So immediately, he grabs Hagoromo, and means absorbing what chakra is actually his. When she absorbs it, Sasuke cuts her arm off, but it grows back. So Hagoromo's like, damn it. The ability that Naruto used was a bad idea. It gave me some of my chakra. She took it. Then she sends all the Leos to Tsuki on the moon, and the remaining miscellaneous members of the clan, and immediately signaled to them that she needed help. Then suddenly all of them appear on Earth, with Toneri waking up and appearing with them as well. Well, Naruto had sent them all to appear on Earth, and appeared in front of them as well. Now Naruto realized he actually has to get serious for once. Naruto laughed, saying, alright then, well, this will be a long fight. Naruto moved the Jonin back in his headband, and then went into his Sage 6 Pass cloak. Was able to use his full power. Like, he unleashed everything that he could. What do you think that wasn't a ninjutsu? So he put out a sword that he had, first was able to use truth-seeking orbs with Tenseigan, just needed to use Tenseigan cloak. Then was able to use Naito's cloak on top of that. And was able to absorb the chakra of every single path of pain. And did that. Naruto's at full power now, as he had just used some other things. But he's on his palm on the ground, yelling multi-summoning, summoning every single beast from Rinnegan and Tenseigan. Pulling out every single stop he could, and then jumped on top of the hyena. Now the fight would begin. Now, there's going to be a line between firing off jutsu at the Otsutsuki, and Moshiki immediately absorbed Kenshiki, and Toneri, he's the weakest link. He absorbed them. Now Toneri has a Rinnegan and Tenseigan. Well, plus 2 Rinnegan in his hand. Now immediately, Naruto began fighting Moshiki first, because he's the one with the Rinnegan Tenseigan. But Sasuke appeared right behind Moshiki, almost cutting off his head. But Moshiki's able to stop the blade halfway through. But Naruto already shoved a truth-seeking orb through Moshiki's chest, killing him. And with that, Naruto was able to turn the truth-seeking orb into a gigantic golem. And now Naruto vs. Kaguya. As Naruto and Kaguya began fighting, immediately Hamura and Hagoromo appeared, and they gave Naruto Naruto already had the Sun Seal from Hagoromo, but now Hamura would give Naruto the other half of his chakra, so Naruto now has the Sun and Moon Seal. That's actually enough to heal Kaguya immediately, but it does take some time because she's a lot stronger than she was. But immediately, Kaguya and Naruto fighting, Sasuke would realize Kaguya has a trick up her sleeve, and somehow will try to shoot out a decaying bone, and Sasuke puts his hand in front of it, grabbing it, or about to be hit by it, until Kaguya will realize that Sasuke threw something at her. And he threw it as a kunai. When he threw it, Kaguya would realize that Sasuke grabbed her bone decay thing, and traded places with that and the kunai. So Sasuke stabbed the hand by a kunai, but the bone spear decaying thing hits Kaguya right in her shoulder, which immediately makes her start decaying, and it's not a good thing. Kaguya dies, and then Sasuke had to use up a lot of chakra because he's fighting Madara, and then he's also fighting Kaguya a bit, and then he had to fight her again, and then use the Rinnegan ability. He's a bit out of chakra, and then now Naruto versus Ishiki. So due to Moshiki not dead yet, Ishiki absorbed Moshiki, and now Ishiki's at full power, so Naruto beyond full power, and Naruto has to fight Ishiki as much as he can. But now Naruto, when he got the Sun and Moon Seal, he gave the Moon Seal to Sasuke, and now Sasuke's power boosted a lot. Pause real quick. Naruto began fighting Ishiki, and Sasuke got a lot of chakra back, and has to fight the Otsutsuki, which there aren't many left, just random miscellaneous ones alongside puppets. But Ishiki, having the abilities of Toneri with the Tenseigan, went into his Tenseigan cloak, and Naruto already having that, began using the master abilities of it, until Naruto began pulling out every single stop he had, because Ishiki seemed to have in his chakra like him. Until eventually Naruto began realizing he's losing more chakra faster and faster, as the reanimations he had used began fading away. And Naruto was kind of nervous because the more time he wastes, the more time that Yaiko turns to a corpse faster, and his parents, mainly his dad's corpse begins decaying a lot faster. Wants to save the corpses that he had used for reanimation jutsu, but mainly his dad and Yaiko. Naruto begins using his Rinnegan abilities on Ishiki as well, because Naruto's able to withstand the gravity of a Chiraku Sensei. So when Naruto uses it, Ishiki's being sucked into it, but he ends up withstanding it as well. So Naruto looks at his friend and the Shinobi Alliance, saying he'll be back in a flash. There's Ishiki by the collar, and Naruto's able to swap dimensions. Not travel different with Ishiki. It's not the dimension with heavy gravity, it's the ice dimension. And Naruto's only here because it's going to be a lot easier once he uses these jutsu. He's begins moving Keen Seals to manipulate the ice around him, and then using Dark Release to absorb every single jutsu fired at him. Naruto uses a jutsu he specifically made for this jutsu, and it was just Dark Pressure. What happens when Naruto uses this is able to summon basically just thousands of pounds of not thousands, just billions to trillions of pounds of pressure on a certain area, making everything be crushed and obliterated. She's able to avoid this attack, but they did use a lot of Naruto's chakra. Also, Naruto began using the Rinnegan and Tenseigan to full abilities. He's using every single ability of the Rinnegan and Tenseigan at once. Well, not Tenseigan, because those abilities are a little more deadly. Last ability that Naruto uses is summoning a blade of chakra using Tenseigan, and then coating it in everything but the chakra he has left. His sword is extremely hot, and it's burning away Naruto's skin. While it's left, Naruto using another ability with Tenseigan, which begins shooting this dimension, or whatever planet they're on in this dimension, and towards their sun that Naruto can see. Now Ishiki's questioning if Naruto's even sane, because he's doing that. Naruto immediately jumped away as far as possible, as he set the planet is flying still, leaving Naruto in space. He slashes down as far as possible using chakra sword with the Tenseigan, and sword in the connecting with the planet, and the Ishiki first, then the planet. Naruto ended up cutting it clean in half and destroying it. With that, Naruto's the planet flying to the sun, and Naruto, with the bits of breath he has left, sent himself right back into his dimension on Earth. So as soon as Naruto fell from the sky, he lands, and his arm looks very burnt and not real. If you remember what Zoro arms look like after picking up Enma for the first time, Naruto's arm looks like that, just a lot more dark because it's burnt. But yeah. Now, Kaguya is already defeated, so yeah. But the reanimations that Orochimaru had used were defeated already. Orochimaru and Kabuto were able to escape Itachi. That's why Itachi was already in the war, but yeah. Now Naruto, with a little bits of chakra he has left, because he put out all the stops for that one sword attack. Well, what I didn't know is that once he slashed the planet, he always slashed the sun. So, he sort of whole universe, basically, not universe, but whole galaxy without realizing it. So that'll tell you guys what level the Naruto's at. Because he's already planetary level by the time Naruto ended, but now towards the end of Shippuden, he's already galactic, galaxy level. He's not like Goku level, who's dimensional level, or universal level, but he's still technically strong. But Naruto's brought to the Hidden Leaf Hospital, and he has a bit of chakra left, not a lot, but a bit. And he's able to actually keep the reanimations running. Now Naruto still has a good half of Hamura's six path power. Now he has to determine where he's going to give it to. So when Naruto decides, well, he doesn't know yet. As Naruto thinks, well, he's thinking on this for years. So then he becomes Kage of the Hidden Leaf immediately after he recovers. After a month of recovery, he's now Kage of the Hidden Leaf. Looks how he does as he does in Boruto, just haircut's not horrible. And the same cloak as Minato. Just instead of it being white and red, it's more just the white is replaced with red. The flames at the bottom are replaced with a more purplish tint. And the kanji for Kage are replaced with just a more blue font. Very flamboyant cloak. And Naruto's clothes that he does, and so super powerful. Now when he goes to Naruto when he is around 22. And when he's around 22, he has 3 wives, being Tayuya, Karin, and Hinata Hyuga. Sasuke married Sakura around a year after the war ended and already had their first kid. Well, then we have Naruto. He's able to keep his path of pain because he was still alive and had chakra left, not a lot, but a bit. he was able to keep it flowing through the corpses. So they still lived, and his reanimations were still on. Yeah, so when he's fully back at full power, after a bit of training, he's able to give the Uchiha somewhat of a six path to pass the pain effect. Not all of them, but mainly Izuna, Obito, who did die but was brought back. He died from losing 10 tails. So Obito, Izuna, Fugaku, Mikoto, Izumi, some random Uchihas that may have been important at some point in life, including Chisui. They get their chakra back. They get to live again. So Itachi and Izumi, they start repopulating as pure Uchiha clan members, and then not pure, but because Izumi isn't full Uchiha, I believe, and yeah. And Naruto does a favor for our boy Obito, revives Rin. But yeah. Now Naruto, at the age of 17, was the youngest Hokage. And now he's the new god of shinobi. Naruto already took care of the problem of being future Kara, so yeah. Ishii kind of took care of the problem himself by actually revealing himself as Ishiki. Yeah. So the future members of Kara were born like just like Hidden Leaf or random villages. Delta and Kabuki were born in the Hidden Leaf, and Naruto kind of took away Kabuki's father because he realized Kabuki's father was an abuser, and raised Kabuki's adopted son. Boruto being Kabuki's brothers, they've lived with each other for their whole life. What seems like Naruto got Kabuki when he was 3. Boruto was already around 1 year old at that time. And Naruto has around, let's say, well, from Karin, he has, let's say, 3 kids. Then from Sayuya, he has 2. From Hinata, he has 2. No, let's say he has 4 from Hinata. So, Boruto and Himawari being twins, and then another 2 being, let's say, miscellaneous kids like Karin and Sayuya. And then Naruto's the 5th kid, not from Hinata, but he's the 5th kid in general, that Hinata will mainly raise because Kabuki prefers Hinata, being Kabuki. Yeah. Now, so we world's at peace, and Naruto destroyed a whole galaxy for not realizing he did destroy a whole galaxy. Because when you try to find the ice dimension, you can't go to it, and Sasuke can't either. Because they want to go to where that dimension is. Oh, they began suffocating in space, so can't be helped. But yeah. So Naruto, by the way, is still missing an arm because his burnt arm had to be amputated. Because Nagato did recommend can you help fix that? But he already lost a lot of chakras fighting other Otsutsuki. So he didn't have enough chakra to summon it. So he kind of just let Naruto lose his arm. You know what? The arm was disconnected from Naruto's body. It just faded into dust or ash. But yeah, so that's part here. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment for another part.